So I am Marvel John from Birlasoft. So here you can see what we have done for two different business industries, I would say. Like one is for uh, oil and gas industry, and one more is for manufacturing industry. So we will have four different use cases for oil and gas. We will have three. All right. So as I mentioned, we are going to discuss about two different industries, what solution we have offered, and we are going to see like four use cases out of it. I'll be real quick. I don't waste your time as well. I'll be real quick. So this is the agenda that we are having. Like we'll go for about Birlasoft, and then the presenter introduction, Birlasoft solution approach, project highlights, and then we will get the feedbacks and questions. So about Birlasoft, our guys have mostly covered it, but still I want to go for it. Cogito, which is going to be the AI-based platform which allows to build a lot of AI tools. And Generative AI Center of Excellence is a collaboration with Microsoft, which is going to provide a industry-based Generative AI Center of Excellence. And we do have, like Birlasoft, we project as a technical partner as well as a strategy partner. When I say strategy partner, we are consulting and advisory for all the industries like banking, finance, insurance, manufacturing, energy utilities, life science and services. And technical part, if we see, we have a ERP, SAP, Oracle Info, Microsoft and Salesforce. So about the presenter introduction, so that's me. So I might have handshake with you outside. If not, then we will meet up after the session. So myself, Marvel John, I have my bachelor's in BTech Information Technology, and I have certified in Oracle Fusion Transportation Management 2023. And I have a 10+ years of experience implementing OTM, GTM, and also integration space as well. So that's my email ID and my contact. If you want to reach me, I am happy to be there. So the four use cases which I mentioned are these. Like first thing is like it's going to be GTM screening related, how we supported oil and gas industry with the screening. And next thing is going to be suppliers, which is going to be onboarded to OTM system. And e-commerce, which is going to be onboarded, e-commerce which is going to be re-implemented with OTM system, and the supplier which is going to be onboarded to the system, the carrier which is going to be onboarded to the system. These are the four use cases that we will be looking into. So when we say GTM screening, what is the first thing comes to our mind? Like GTM screening, when we say the content set. So what is the content set? Like we get the list of government watch list. So where this is going to be from? So that's going to be from, the first thing which comes to our mind is like Decaras. Decaras is what the content we receive from, right? But this specific customer, so let's see what is the Decaras. Decaras is a global trade management company, and then it got, it acquires the custom info, and after that it is being used up for the GTM system. Okay, so then the other side we have Dow Jones. Dow Jones is a risk and compliance specific, it's also a GTM content provider, which is a risk and compliance specific. So here are the two different, we have differentiated what is Descartes is providing and what is the Dow Jones is providing. So Descartes is a complete package. So it has its ECC and HTS, the product classification related information, as well as the screening related information. But what is the Dow Jones? So Dow Jones is basically it is specifically for the risk and compliance space. So which is introduced from 24C, and what we are going to see is like, so what the challenges that was faced by oil and gas industry is like they have their operations across globe. When we say across globe, so they have the customers, they have the service providers, suppliers also across the globe. Which means they are having various jurisdictions. So Descartes has a limitation to the jurisdiction and the law enforcement. So because of which that's some gap that is being identified, because of which they have to pay a vast penalty. So this is the reason we want to introduce Descartes along with the Dow Jones to live in a system, and it is going to be used up. So how these two systems can co-live in GTM? So one way what we have provisioned is like we are going to segregate the jobs into two different systems. One is like the license screening, the document management is going to be, and the product classification is going to be taken by Descartes, and the restricted screening parties is specifically going to be handled by Dow Jones. So this is one approach which we have proposed and which is also implemented, but the other solutioning approach would be like both the feeds will be taken in, and to make it more compliant, one will be run as a weekly feed and the other one will run as a daily feed, so that it will not collide, still it will live together. So this is the setup, like we have not enabled the restricted party for Descartes to flow in. Okay, and Dow Jones setup we have. This is specifically for the restricted parties. And moving on to the next use case, here we see how we are going to, how we are going to onboard the external supplier into our system. So what is the current challenge that business is facing is like now the industry is, as I mentioned, it is globally operating. It has a vast business. So they have a issue of like they will need to collect the, once the procurement team places the order, they will need to collect the dimension related informations from the supplier to the logistics planner to proceed with the order planning. So this is the existing system that we have, which is having a purchase order being entered by the procurement team, and it is going to validate the vendor whether it is the supplier, whether it is onboarded to OTM system. If it is onboarded to OTM system, then it is going to be pushed to OTM system, and the supplier gets to email the details like dimension, weight, and what is the manufacturer name, manufacturer address, all this mandatory information they are going to email to the logistics planner. And once this logistics planner receives this email, then they are going to proceed with the planning process. So two things here. One is like the security issues that we see, because the email is going to be transferred, so it can be breached. And the next thing is the process is going to be slow. So to address this, what we have done is like we have proposed for the external suppliers also to be onboarded to OTM system, and they can effectively use OTM system. So this is done for an oil and gas industry again. So the purchase order, again the procurement team places the order which is going to flow into the OTM system. We are going to provide a PO workbench for the suppliers to, they will get in and they get the option to enter the values. Once the details are entered, they are going to make it as a ready to ship. Once they make it as a ready to ship, then they will be available, they will be having the order release created. When the order release is created, they get to enter the mandatory information using the mass update. So this, once they have keyed in all the information, we providing them with the option of submit order for planner. This triggers a email to the logistics planner, so that logistics planner gets to know that the specific order is ready and they can proceed for the planning. And here we give option for the logistics planner to reject as well, so that if it is not, dates are not compatible or they feel any issue, they get the option to reject the order, which again gets back to supplier. They get the option to either update it, or if the order is no more in it, then they can drop there. So this is for the this is for external supplier, and this piece is what is done for a manufacturing firm, where the commerce cloud is going to be directly interacting with OTM system. So what are the benefits if a commerce cloud gets to interact with OTM system? So there are three things which is listed down. One is the shipping option, that they are going to see a visibility of a list of shipping options will be shared upfront. and then they get a shipping cost, and then they get the tracking. So this is a general process like how we place an order in an Amazon. So the Commerce Cloud is also going to provide you a space wherein you are going to add all the items. This is going to be for business to business, or it's going to be for business to customer as well. Same like how we are using the Amazon. So we are going to add the items that is required to be purchased to their cart, and then we will make the payment, and the order is going to be processed, and order gets validated, and order gets delivered. If at all there is any damages or we want to return, then the return is going to be placed and the return is going to be credited. So the main key issue that they were facing is like the visibility of shipping charges upfront in the Commerce Cloud is not available, and because of that, the strategy says that 70 to 75% of the cart gets abandoned. Like they are not going to complete the purchase, but it is going to drop there, and out of which the 48% is because of the shipping charges are not available, and the 22% is because of the shipping cost, which is not clearly mentioned. So this space is what we are going to cover up. So this is the existing system which is in place, wherein the Oracle Commerce gets to connect with the Fusion system to get the product related informations, and then it connects with the Oracle Transportation Management System for the shipment planning. So what is the proposed solution is like Oracle Commerce Cloud is going to be interacting with Oracle Transportation Management System through a OIC. So what happens when it interacts, right? First thing is like it's going to provide with a shipping option. Against that, it is going to provide the cost value as well. So what happens if we bring up the cost upfront? So it gives the customer option to select like which specific service provider I want to opt for, and what is the cost it is available. So this is e-commerce site, if you can see, and you get the option of adding the items to cart, and once the item is added to the cart, you get the option to check out. Once you check out, then the call is triggered and you get to see the shipping charges. If you can see the arrow, there is your shipping charges. So it also, we also provide a note that it is going to include a hazardous charges and accessorial charges as well. This is for the e-commerce, how it is getting interacting with OTM and how we were able to provide the manufacturing industry with this solution. So how the shipping charges getting calculated, this is it is a routine process, like it will be based on a shipment weight and volume, or it's going to be based on the distance, origin and destination. And since we are providing the cost upfront, right, so we are going for the contracted price. So contracted cost is what is going to be in the system. And there are also other deciding factor like mode of transport, and you are going to have your delivery preference. So which option you are going to make, according to that the cost is going to vary. So if you see in the slide, right, you get this option of selecting the priority like stock order or it's an expedited order. So when you say it is an expedited order, then you are going to get an option of same day delivery, next day delivery. So these options will be provided for you. Against that you will get the shipping cost as well. So this is one of the newer dimension, I would say, which we were able to achieve. And then carrier onboarding to OTM system. So basically we have a lot of carriers who are available, and those carriers, if they are available in OTM system, what is going to be the benefits? So right now what happens is like when a carrier is outside of system, whatever the communication that is going to happen is all going to happen through email, or they are going to call the ops team or the logistics person, logistics planner, and they are going to get the details. So because of let's say when a logistics planner sends out a spot bid to a different service providers, and they don't know what the item they are going to ship. So to address this, what we have done is like we have a workbench design specifically for document handling. So this there are other workbench also available, which is for tender acceptance and bidding back. And in addition to that, we have also introduced this shipping document workbench. So what happens is like if a planner gets to send a document to a specific carrier, so they get to do with this. So what level of control a planner has? So let's say if you see this is a planner screen where they can see three different documents which was uploaded, and we have a MOS update option which is going to have a document indicator which is going to be the deciding factor like visible to carrier or not. So when we say visible to carrier, we get the option, the logistics planner gets the option to select a specific document and they can go for opting for if it should be visible to a carrier or no. So, and this is the service provider screen where they get to see the document. Now in previous screen if we see they have, let's say they have opted for the country of origin. Now here if you see only the country of origin document is what is visible, none other than is visible. And also we make sure that a competitor carrier is not going to, the service provider who is a competitor is not going to see the document which was uploaded. So this is being maintained and handled through VPD profile. So one option is like document indicator that we use in a VPD profile which decides whether the selected option, whatever the selected documents which was opted by the planner that gets to be visible for the carrier, that is controlled by the document indicator. And the service provider user association. So we create a user association and against that we define this specific service provider. So this is one thing, and then the document creator. So I am the document creator, so I should get the option to see my own documents. So that option we are providing. And when I say shipment work, the shipping document workbench, right, it also involves a shipment as well. So there also we should make sure that there is no, the shipment is not visible for the fellow competitors. So there also we have a restriction like the specific shipment associated to this specific service provider is associated to the user association of that specific user. So this we are making sure like, this is going to have a lot of control. And also this is not only like open for the tender which is accepted. This is also open whenever a tender is initiated. That phase onwards the shipping document is going to be available. So the transaction between all the communications, whatever happens, right, that document exchanges is going to be handled through this. Let's say if a carrier want to send a sample quote. So that quote will also be shared out here and it can be get reviewed by a planner. So these are the few options that we are providing for a carrier so that if at all down the line if I want to refer back, it makes it easy. When it is going to be in an email, right? If a specific carrier comes and say I have sent it long back, then it is way too difficult for us to refer back. So project highlights, as I mentioned, the first thing is screening. Screening wise, to add an additional layer of compliance, I would say this Dow Jones can be used up like in addition to whatever you are having right now, Decats as a daily feed, or you can have a Dow Jones as your daily feed and Decats as your weekly feed. So this adds an additional layer so that you are covered in all the jurisdictions, all the law enforcement, and you are fully covered. So the external supplier onboarding we have seen like right now we have onboarded 40 suppliers, external suppliers into OTM. And we are still onboarding many more suppliers. So this actually benefits the process is not getting delayed. And also the carrier onboarding, as I explained, any kind of document exchange can be handled with this. And finally, the e-commerce integration. This is going to be a cost saving because when you get a visibility of what is the charge that you are going to be, what is the amount that you are going to be charged, right? So that level of visibility you are getting, and the customer gets the option like which service provider I need to opt for, that I can opt for. So that's it.